Thank you. So speaking of disruption, technology is always amazing when it works out very well. How are you? Such a bright, colorful room, lots of smiling faces. I always find this conference particularly interesting because you've got a lot of talent acquisition professionals in the room who are always looking to spot and identify great talent, and you're in a room filled with top talent, so this is just like a whole sea of opportunity for you, so how exciting. Disruption isn't new to us. When you reflect back and you think about all of the things that we've been experiencing, how we've been evolving as a species, the new innovations and technologies that are available to us, disruption has always existed, but the speed at which it's been happening has been increasing. And if we consider from a scale perspective, if you look at the airlines, it took them 68 years to get to 50 million users. So 68 years for airlines to get to 50 million users. The internet, 7 years. YouTube, 4 years. Something like Twitter, 2 years. And so the scale just continues to shrink and shrink and shrink. And so now it's really if a Kardashian tells you to do something or Oprah tells us to do something, it's pretty well instantaneous. But disruption exists. And really when we think about us in the workplace as HR and talent professionals, disruption is the name of the game, and we're being asked to refresh, redesign, re-engineer, rethink, put a re in front of whatever adjective or verb you need to. That's what we're being asked to do. And so what I want to talk to you about today is about an always learning mindset. So Shahid touched on this as we come into the conference today, and you're thinking about 2 days that you have ahead of you of new learning, new opportunity, a sharing of ideas and exchange of insights. It's really important to have an always learning mindset, not just over these next 2 days, but also when you go back into your organization. But it's also critical for you to look at talent and identify who are the people who have an always learning mindset. Who are the people who have a propensity to learn, because the skills that they're bringing in are going to inevitably change over the short term and certainly over the long term. So we know that there are over 2.4 million jobs that are going to be showing up in the next 3 years that are going to require a new mix of skills, some of which don't even exist today. So the forces of change that surround us are pretty obvious to us as HR professionals as it relates to the talent that we're looking to engage and the talent we're looking to attract into our organization. But we know that the nature of jobs has fundamentally changed. So we have a contingent workforce now in Canada, so this gig economy. The number of contingent workers has actually increased exponentially. It's predicted to continue to grow. So it's gone from 4.8 million workers in Canada to 6.1 within the last couple of years. And it's a buyer's market. They're making the decisions about where they want to go. And we're not just competing for talent for full-time positions. We're competing for talent for these contingent workers. And I know I had a previous boss who viewed contingent workforce as a talent pool, right? As soon as you needed somebody, you could just go and get somebody on contract. And unfortunately, it's not the way anymore. We're still competing for that talent. But the forces of change are around us. So technology is advancing at a pace that we're finding difficult to keep up with, even though we can't really get our mics to work yet, but we're finding it difficult to keep up with the pace of change. But what I found interesting, I'm sure you noticed that when Shahid was speaking, there was a pop-up talking about upgrades, right, and updates to your computer. How many of you see those and just like growl at your computer and think, not now, not a good time, snooze, postpone, whatever the button is to make that thing go away? We do the same thing when it comes to our own learning. And we do the same thing when it comes to our own skill set. It's rarely a good time. We generally don't have time to focus and to put effort into our own learning, but it's absolutely necessary. So it's anticipated, I'm going to throw another statistic at you, anywhere from 25 to 40% of jobs are going to be heavily disrupted by technology in the next 2 to 3 years. So 25 to 40% of jobs. What are those jobs in your organization? Is that job yours?